Hi, I'm Dan Gibson from Dan Gibson Dating, and I'm here to share a case study with you about my client, Kyle, who's an extremely busy entrepreneur, a divorced single dad, and a salesman who had limited time to fix his dating life, especially after being in a marriage for many years. He was struggling to meet and date women among all his other priorities, and after working with me for 3 to 6 months, Kyle experienced transformative change and was able to attract and date the kind of women he had been aspiring to. In a moment, I'm going to play a short interview for you where we break down his journey, what worked for him, and how it could also work for you. After this short interview, if you're interested to hear more about the coaching that Kyle was part of, I'll come back and tell you more about it. Let's jump right in. Hey Kyle, thanks for your time today. Looking forward to hearing from you. Let's get stuck into it. What I'm going to ask you first is, how would you describe your love life and general confidence with women and dating before we met and started working together?
Well, I mean, it was really low. Like I was doing a lot of things that I thought I needed to do. I did need to do them, like get in shape and things like that, and that certainly helped. But I thought that was the end all be all. But I didn't understand attraction, and I was really, it was I had zero confidence, and there was always a swing and a miss. So I would say it was pretty low, and I didn't understand why, because I was like, I'm a decent looking guy, I'm in shape, and I didn't get it. So I was confused by that, but I knew I needed to any good story. It seems like people that have really good stories about where they're at, when they have some kind of really good outcome, is they always sought out a mentor, and that's what I did. The universe brought us together, or whatever you want to put it, but it was crucial for me to do that. I knew I needed that, so
General was pretty non-existent or a little bit happening.
it was pretty non-existent. Like I didn't know how to create the vibe. I didn't know how to create the approach. My communication was off. I talked too much. I was wrong, and I didn't know, like, I was with the same person for a long time, so trying to meet new women was really it was awkward, right? Like I didn't know what to do. Yeah, it sucked. Like it sucked really bad. So it is what it is, but that's where I was.
Why was that a problem for you? How was your state or your situation? How was it impacting you in general?
Well, I think for me it's because I'm 44 now. I got divorced when I was 42. And I was with the same person. And before that, I always had girlfriends. So I was always somebody who's used to having somebody. And all of a sudden, the kind of dynamics that I think allowed me to attract girls before, like being in high school, having the party house and all these other things, like I didn't have to try. Like they came to me, and now I was devoid of all of those dynamics that worked for me before. And I'll start from scratch, new social circles. So I was like a fish out of water. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And I'm just used to having somebody in my life. Like I'm very relationship oriented. And I think it was important for me to kind of be alone for a while. But at the same time, like, I know the value of having a good quality relationship and having female attention and things like that. And those were things that honestly, some of the times I got, but I didn't even recognize when I was getting it until afterwards, and I wasn't able to capitalize it. And then those opportunities kind of came and went, which I feel confident now that I could recreate those opportunities if I needed to. But at the time, there's so many times I was like, oh my God, I think that chick really wanted to talk to me or get at me or whatever. And there's plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of times I can go back and like some girls that were really pretty, but I didn't have the ability to create the vibe and capitalize on it, and know when to make the move. And I didn't realize how much is on the man to make the first move and create the vibe, initiate touch. What's too much, what's not enough. There's so many dynamics that I did not understand that I just I'd seen other people and they had no problems, and I was like I'm better looking than that guy. Like what the hell, I mean, just stuff like that, right? And I didn't get it. Like you'd see some really pretty girls with like dudes. You're like, what the hell is going on with that? Like I didn't get it. Like I'm like, that he looks like a well dressed Jabba the Hutt, and he's got a beautiful woman with him. And I was like, that doesn't make any damn sense. Like I didn't get it. I was like, why? Like they should be flocking me like that, dude. Really? Like it was confusing to me.
And I guess you've kind of answered this, but embarking on some coaching, what was kind of your end goal? What were you hoping to achieve? Where did you want to get to from where you were?
Because not somebody who is going to sit there and pretend like being perpetually single is the way to be in life, because we're not meant to be alone. And I knew I didn't want to be alone, and I'm not getting any younger. And I knew that what I was doing wasn't working. I had zero confidence. And like looking back on it, like some of the stuff I'm like, wow, did I really do that? Like first couple of dates, super awkward, which, hey, whatever. I mean, that's probably normal, but like I can see now why I got rejected. But I didn't, like I didn't feel like I should be getting rejected. And I was like, I'm a good guy. Like I'm a catch, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. It's life is better when you got something to cuddle with and go to dinner with and, have brunch with, wake up in the morning with. And, you know what I mean? Like that's everybody wants that. Everybody. I don't care what they say. If they're like, oh, I want to be single. Like, no, you don't. You're just saying that because you're scared of what could happen instead of what could go right. And that's a sad state of existence. And that's not where I wanted to be. I knew that much.
That's a beautiful analogy, man. Thanks for sharing that. And like looking at how things are going now in comparison, how would you say your overall self-confidence and confidence with women is?
Oh, it's way better. Way better. It's been you don't build Rome in a day. So it was about a year ago when we went through when I went through your mentorship, we maintained a friendship, right? And you've been super great about everything throughout the whole process. Like I can't thank you enough for that. But it took a while to kind of really understand what being in my masculine was, and dialing in like little things. So I went from being able to close on the first date really well, and then but I wasn't maintaining that frame, so that way things didn't last. But I was able to at least get a date, and then get this kiss out of the deal, or take it, you know what I mean. And then I've been through a couple like shorter relationships, but then still kind of like dialing it in and been able to go back and be like, okay, what went right, what went wrong, what could I have done better in a relationship right now. Everything's going really well right now. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay, because I know now, especially in the last couple of months, like I would probably say in the last year, like it's gotten a lot better, like progressively better. And I would say in the last like 3 months, especially, I went from like okay, I know how to flirt, and I know I can get a cute girl, to all of a sudden now I know I can walk in a room and I feel like I'm that guy. And yeah, and like I'm that guy. And if this relationship I have doesn't work out, I'm that guy. Like it's on somebody else. I'll be able to pick up somebody else. I don't feel like I'll have too much issue with it. Like I've been able to attract girls that are far younger than me, which I thought never would happen. I mean, I think it probably helps that I stayed in shape and everything, or that I got in shape. But I mean, I'm 44. I've got 20-year-old girls that hit on me. Like I've read text messages from other people when they're talking about me, like, and they had like the hard eyes and like, oh my God, it's Kyle. Like, and I'm just like, oh, she feels that way, huh? But like I knew it. And like when I tell people about like things that have happened, they see that even like other guys that get chicks are like, they're like, bro, respect. You know what I mean? Like it's things that I had no idea about attraction triggers, and I didn't realize the different kind of energies you put out, and just being able to read women and know what they want and what they expect and how to position that, because I didn't have a good masculine role model growing up. So I didn't have that, and I knew I needed that. So, but yeah, if this thing doesn't work out with the girl I'm with now, she's fantastic. But if it doesn't, I'll be fine, because I know that there'll be other girls lined up, and I won't have a problem at all. Like I feel super good about it.
Love it, man. That sounds so good. You've kind of touched on it a bit, but you've obviously shared with me some great experiences with women now over the last 3 to 6 months. Can you share one experience as a highlight? I mean, meeting this girl or something else?
Well, do we gotta keep PG, or what are we talking about here, brother? Okay, so here's
mildly PG.
Okay. So the girl I'm seeing now, I'm gonna give you a couple examples if that's all right. Okay, so there's one girl, and this is probably about 3 months ago. So there's one girl that I kind of flirted with, but I think I was able to maintain my frame with her okay. But I also wasn't still creating the vibe all that great with her, but there was enough attraction there that I was able to capitalize on it when all of a sudden I got this text message like, hey, you downtown? I was like, hell yeah, I'm downtown. And we met up, and we had a good time. Yeah. And yeah, that was one from like, dude, that was like a year or so ago. Like that one's been marinating in the chamber for a while, but I was able to take advantage of it. and I knew what to do. I knew what was going on, and I knew what to do, and I knew how to capitalize, and I felt confident. I was like, this is a done deal. Like, I knew that as soon as I got that text message, like, I know what's happening. It was like a week or two after that, two absolutely gorgeous, like one of them had a crush on me from a while ago, like I'd worked with her. But then she had her hot friend with her, and I was able to get them both back to my place. And they were like, take pictures with us to make all your side girls jealous. They used the B word, but I was like, okay. And the cuter one came back for as a repeat customer a couple times. She's looks like a cheerleader from a college football team. I mean, she's stunningly gorgeous. And then a week or two after that, I met this other girl, so I knew how to flirt with her. I knew what to say. I knew how to keep it light and playful, and do like the subtle things like the touch and all that. And she gave me a ride home because like I had too much to drink, you know, and which I did, and I was fine. But we came back, and we had a good time, and then we had another date, and then after that, it was like every day we hung out, and now we got past that initial like super intense phase, and it's dialed back a little bit, but it's still intense, right? Um, and yeah, no, she's great. So like yeah, just like all like little subtle things. It's all stuff that I wasn't good at before because I didn't know when it was to do it, and I kind of went back and I was like, I knew what I was doing right there. And then she remembered all the stuff I did. She's like, oh yeah, you did know what you're doing. Like, I put my hand on the small of her back here and there, pulled her hair, wants to be kind of flirty with her, and she said that she was like, that didn't do anything for me. I was like, yeah, but you noticed me, didn't you? She was like, yeah, they got my attention. I was like, I told you. But yeah, no, she's been great. Like, been having a really good time with her, and I mean, we'll see where it goes. But I mean, especially after those two like 20-some-year-old chicks like were coming over to my house and they're just eating out of my hands. I'm just for like 2 weeks after that, I was just yes, like constantly. Like my confidence is just through the roof. Like I feel like a man. I still do. So
Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. Cool story. Love it. I wanted to ask you about the coaching specifically. Were there any aspects of coaching in itself, working with me, that were most helpful for you, and why?
well, I think beyond just being a dating coach, given the fact of what you have to do, who you have to become to be a man and a successful man, it doesn't it bleeds over into everything. In terms of getting into your past and releasing things, goal setting and how to do that the right way, like how to visualize things, how to really get into it, like the minutia. Like I've dug into those kinds of things before, but there's so many missing parts I didn't have, and you really put a lot of those things together. So I mean, I had done some of that work prior, but I didn't have any real guidance. I was trying to figure it out on my own, and I really feel like if I hadn't ran across you, my dating situation would be completely different right now, 100%. And not only that, but like, I'm getting into some real estate stuff now, and I know like visualization wise, like what I got to do for that. Like, how do I approach it? How do I have the right mindset going into it? How do I put things into there so that way I feel like it's already done? So that way I have that energy and confidence coming into the deals that I'm going to be doing a little bit. I'm still going through some of the learning process of this, but like I feel good about that. And that's an extension of what I felt like you helped me with. It's like I said, it bleeds out and everything else. And it was such a massive leap forward that I needed, having that personalized guidance.
So you saw it. So you took the leap to make an investment in yourself, and you went. This is like you had the sensibility enough to realize that this is nothing. If you don't make a change somehow, nothing's going to change. And so you've got to invest in yourself to be able to make the changes so that you can then have the life you want to lead, right?
Oh, 100%. And I, and they always say the things that are most worth doing in life are on the other side of your fears. And where I was at in my life, financial fears are a real thing because like, I felt that I was, one financial disaster away from really being in a bad spot because of some of the dynamics I have right now, and or I've had or whatever, right?
You notice that you, like, with your own development and your own improvement, that all of that's improved. I mean, since doing this work, specifically coming to me around women and dating, and you kind of touched on a few things, but is that another aspect of life that the work has had a positive impact on?
Okay, so because I went through your thing, there's another investment group that I got into, and the price tag was $10,000, and I felt so much more confident, like taking the leap in there, because I'm connected to 600, 700, 800 people that are all in there, hard money lenders, all kinds of things, and I looked at it and I was like, if I don't do something different, my situation's not going to get better from a financial. So I got the dating thing conquered, and I'm working on some other investments. I had done some small things to create cash flowing assets. Now it's time to do bigger and better things. So I've been digging my brain into this material about real estate and some of these other things. So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to take a leap of faith, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to make it work. And I feel good about it. Like the material's been really good for that. I mean, I haven't talked to you about any of this, Dan, but I'm just telling you, if it wasn't for what I did with you, that created the ability for me to lean into that and know that fear is something that I need to conquer, and that made me do it instead of back away from it.
Wonderful.
But I also feel like you gave me the tools to be able to actually lay a foundation to be successful in that.
That's perfect, man. And you keep answering all my next questions, like just before I ask them. My last real question for you was, and you might be able to expand on that, was how do you feel now about your present and your future in general? How do you feel?
Way better. Like I feel like I understand how to navigate myself and interactions, and how to deal with and respond to situations, just in general, just social interactions in general, not even just flirting with women, but like, you're really courting people in general. You're courting networks. I think going back to some of the activities you had me do, it really helped clarify what I want out of life, and it makes it way easier to not only attract the people into your life that are parallel with what your goals and desires are, but it also makes it a lot easier for you to know what's not for you. And I think that's super important, because when you don't know that and you're just going off of emotions, you're going to stay attached to those people that you grew up with, that you have strong affinity and affection for, but they have no desire to do anything for themselves. So I feel like it's okay to let go of some of these people. You can still love them where they're at, but I feel like I feel a lot more fortitude and strength in knowing that I can let some of these connections go, because people are seasonal, and I'm going to do my thing. And I know I can create strong bonds with other people. I don't have to let those bonds go totally, but I know where to realign my energy, and that's into people that are aligned with my goals and aspirations, and
including women, the right women.
Yeah, the right women, the right business partners, your reflection of the people you spend the most time with. So knowing what that reflection should look like is what you gave me, or you really, really helped me with a lot.
Awesome, man.
So yeah, I mean, it's so instrumental in just everything, because when you learn a skill like that, a life skill like that, you can take that into other avenues, and you're just putting a new veneer on basically the same substructure, and just repurposing it a little bit. So I really feel like it was amazing.
Virtual high five, man. Virtual high five.
Right on. But you're like, stop, just stop.
I'm really happy for you, man. And just want to say thanks for sharing your story. Like, it's inspiring to me, and I love the inspiration that I get from working with guys that go from where they are and see massive growth and transformation. If there's another man that happens to just be watching this little interview between us, who maybe feels uncertain if he too can have this level of positive change in his life, how would you suggest that he should make a decision as to whether to ask for and accept help or not?
Swallow your pride, because if you haven't figured it out now and you're not getting the results you want now, you're doing something wrong, and it's okay. You just didn't learn from the people that are teaching you the right way. It's okay to sit back and flex the small muscles first. That's where you got to start. There's not a single person that you're ever going to look up to that had an amazing story that didn't have to go through didn't have a good mentor, didn't go through all the pain, didn't go through and do scary things. Look at the people that have been comfortable all their lives and they've clocked in and clocked out and they're silently miserable, most of them. And if that's what you want to do, go for it. But don't sit there and regret it when you're on your when you're 85 and you no longer have time to do anything with your life, and you're going to look back and be like, oh, maybe I should have taken a chance. Maybe I should have taken a risk. Yeah, you should have, and it's too late. I am not gonna, hell no, that's not gonna be me. I'm not doing that. I will not. I'm not gonna have my family go through that. I'm not gonna let my kids see me do that. They're gonna see what dad did. And if that's important to you, swallow your pride. Swallow your pride. And if you haven't figured out, if you don't have a roadmap, then you need to find a roadmap. There's people that know how to get things done, and they're there to help you. There's people write books on all kinds of things. Have you picked up a book and read it? Swallow your damn pride and just be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then forgive yourself for that and say it's okay that you don't know what you're doing, and then say, what do I need to do now?
Love
the answers are out there. Everything's been figured out already. People have already done what you want to do. Ask them. It's easy.
Don't be coachable. Don't reinvent the wheel. And you touched on something that I want to add. I think that I've even seen, you've been working on your relationship with your kids as well, man, which has been awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to model everything they do after what I do. So it's on me to break those. If I don't break the cycles that have been passed on to me, I'm just assuming that they're going to. My responsibility is not to do that. My responsibility is to break that cycle and show them, show my sons how to be a man. Make sure my daughter does not go down the wrong path, and that she knows I'll be disappointed in her if she doesn't, if she makes certain life choices, because she has to have that. And I'll always love her regardless, but I'm just saying, like, they have to know that I'm in that position. So, I have to be a role model for them, because if not, I'm just choosing to pass on self-defeating and destructive behaviors to my kids. And I think that's, I don't find that acceptable. And they shouldn't have to be there to figure it out, especially when I figured out that I got to figure it out. Like, now it's my job. It's my responsibility. I don't have any excuse now, because I'm aware of it. I can't just assume they're just going to have a light bulb go off.
Perfect, man. Absolutely love it. Kyle, thanks so much. You're inspirational to me, and, working with men like yourself is like, I couldn't think of anything that I'd want to do more than what I do. So you make it all, guys like you make it all worthwhile, man. And thank you. Looking forward to hearing about more successes coming your way. Thanks again for your time today, mate. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Seriously. I mean it.
Welcome back. Throughout the course of that interview, there may have been a couple of things that Kyle said that really resonated with you. So if you found yourself ever experiencing some of the problems that Kyle was experiencing, then it may be time for you to really look for a coach and start to understand why the coaching was so important for him to make the changes in his love life he desired. So again, if any of this made sense to you, I invite you to click the link in my bio or the description and schedule yourself right onto my calendar for a free strategy call. It literally takes 7 seconds with a short questionnaire to help me understand what it is that I can help you with. I'm absolutely wishing you the best as we near the end of yet another year, and I hope that you don't wait another year without having the kind of love life that you really want for yourself. Peace, and I'll see you in the next one.